Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone who is here today. We're going to be doing this in about 20 minutes. So it's going to be short and sweet. And I'd like to welcome everyone here today who is here today for this very exciting presentation about one amazing lesson you need to learn if you intend to be successful. Now, if you're here and you want to be mega successful at what you're doing, please put a comment in the box and type yes. And while you are having your yes, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to have this exciting discussion today. So give me your yes, and then we will go. Now, very, very quickly today, as we begin to drum in our yeses, I can see a few yeses already. Awesome, awesome, awesome. As we begin to drum in our yeses, I want to get into the nitty-gritty of our conversation today. Now, what is this one exciting thing that everyone who wants to be successful in their business, what is this one thing that they need to learn? What is this one thing that I find is very essential? I think anybody, the moment you start earning any income in this life, this is one thing you need to learn. And I hope that today some people will be hearing this for the first time, or some people will be having an extra drive on this to have more clarity and more passion for this as the day goes by. Now, what exactly is this one lesson? What is this beautiful phenomenon that I think people need to learn? And why do I think it's so important? Hold your breath, okay, as I begin to open you into this world of possibilities. Now, this is a quote by Brian Tracy. There are many quotes by many very important people, but I saw this particular quote, and because it combines two posts, it combines a quote from Einstein and a quote from Brian Tracy, I'm using this one. It says, most great fortunes are built slowly. They are based on the principle of compound interest, what Albert Einstein called the greatest power in the universe. If anybody is here who wants to have a great fortune, I want to announce to you, it is built slowly. Okay, it is built slowly on the principles of compound interest. And this is one of the greatest powers in the universe because compound interest is amazing. So if you're here today, you're listening to me, I want to ask you, is there anything in your life that you are compounding? Do you have anything at all that you are compounding? If you are not compounding anything, then you are not enjoying the leverage potentials available in compounding. If you are here, you're not building. There's something that you have in the last 3-5 years, you are just putting level on level, layer on layer, and you are building. You have nothing like that, then you may not be a beneficiary of great fortune. Let me tell you something. Every human being in this world, if they leverage on the use of their time correctly, and they decide to be consistent in putting something aside for that time, can create a great fortune, if not for themselves, for their children's children. There's nobody in this world who, with a discipline of working consistently with time, is not able to create a fortune for their second generation. Why? Because all you need with compound interest, is time. Okay. I like a quote that somebody said, the difference between here and there is the letter T. Okay. The difference between here and there is the letter T, and that T stands for time. Okay, that the only thing that is between here and there that you want to be is the letter T, and that T stands for time. If you are able to use time correctly, there is nowhere you want to get to that you can't get to. Okay, somebody who is hearing me, you're still hearing me loud and clear in the house, please type in that chat box, time. Now, many of us have probably seen this calculator before, but I'd like you to look at this calculator again. I want us to refresh this. You know, this is 1 cent that doubles every day. 1 cent that doubles every day. This is one of our first fascinations with the concept of compound interest. That 1 cent that doubles every day does not become more than it is just $5.12 after 10 days of doubling. After 10 days of your 1 cent doubling and doubling, it becomes $5 by the 10th day. And anybody who is watching that trend of your 1 cent becoming $5 imagines that this is just a multiplication of times 500. This is not significant value. This is not something that is big or huge. But guess what? After another 10 days, it becomes $5,000. After a whole 20 days of your 1 cent doubling and doubling and doubling, after 20 days, it becomes $5,000. People will have thought, maybe the potential are big, maybe it's multiplied by another 1,000, maybe this is not going to be something phenomenal. But guess what happens? By the 30th day, this 1 cent has become $5.4 million. This table alone is enough for you to get fascinated with the idea of compound interest. This table is enough for you to get fascinated and excited by the possibilities and the potentials of compound interest. Now, compound interest is something that takes your capital and then doubles it every day. In simple terms, what it says compound interest is that you make money, then that money makes money, and the money that the money makes keeps on making money as well. Compound interest is a phenomenon where your capital is able to gain interest and your interest is able to gain interest, and then your interest compounds with the interest you have made and continues to make interest. It means if you are willing to play the game of time, okay, if you are willing to play the game of time, in a matter of time, phenomenal things can happen with you. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of us would like to have 1 cent today and not worry, because we know that in a matter of time, that 1 cent, if we really truly are building and truly incrementally growing what we have, can become a fortune in a matter of time. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nobody today who is disqualified from wealth, who is disqualified from great fortune, who is disqualified from a good life by lack of resources today. If you don't have resources today, you can have tomorrow. All you need to do is to be patient, which is a function of time, and to be consistent, to be patient and consistent, but to have something that you're consistently building and using the time, time to your advantage. Whether you like it or not, time will pass. Okay, time will pass. Whether or not you like it, time will pass. But what will make time pass to your advantage is what you are building. So I'd like you to ask somebody, mention somebody's name in that chat box and ask them, are you building? Okay, ask somebody, Fadeke, are you building? Ask Chidi Okweze, are you compounding anything? Is there anything you're compounding? And let me tell you this, if you have put your money with someone and you think that person is compounding it for you, you are fooling yourself. Okay, the best way to compound anything, to build anything, is to be involved directly in it yourself. The greatest value you can have is not what you have put in the hands of a third party, it's what you have put in your own hands. And what makes us unable to focus in what's in our own hands is because we are not seeing long enough to see how it can happen. Look at this table. Anybody who does this for 10 days will be frustrated. Okay, if you do this for 10 days, you will be frustrated because you'll be asking yourself, after 10 days, is it only $5? What is this all about? If you do it for 15 days, you will still be frustrated because it's $163, okay? But if you hold on and are patient and you keep going and you don't quit, okay? You don't quit, then guess what? You are able to wait for the days where it begins to happen. So please tell somebody in that chat box, don't quit. Tell somebody in that chat box, keep going. Tell somebody in that chat box, don't stop. Tell somebody in that chat box, no matter how inconvenient it looks like today, the day where it breaks the $1 million mark, the day where it becomes exciting, is still just a few days away. Many people quit what they are growing just around the time when it's about to really become something. Somebody will have said 15 days, where I'm going for 30 days. If at the end of 15 days, I cannot see positive signs, then why am I still in it? But guess what? After 15 days, all that is here is just $163. Okay, all that is here is just $163. It doesn't make any sense that in just another 15 days, that person will have $5 million. So every time you are building and you relax and you go off and you don't start and you don't continue, you are losing phenomenal opportunity. Anybody who started at day 15, how much would they have lost? If you stop at day 15 and just don't add the extra 15 days, how much will the person have lost? The person will have lost 5.4 million, because that's what they will have gained in that time. Is that not amazing? Okay, so let's look at this concept of compound interest and say, what exactly does it mean to compound? Okay, and in finance, compound interest, a wise man said, money makes money, and the money makes money. Compound interest takes something small and makes it so huge, okay, based on consistency and time. And while rich is being relative, reality is you can compound value for your children's children if you just use time and consistency. You use time and consistency. Ladies and gentlemen, this table alone, we can spend 1 hour on this table. And I assure you, we're going to have a meeting where we'll spend 1 hour on this table and we'll extract 21 lessons from this table, 21 lessons. Okay, so remind me of that. We're going to do 21 lessons on this table to let you see the very interesting intricacies inside these days and why patience is crucial, why commitment is crucial, why consistency is crucial, and why all those are important. Now, what exactly is compound interest in finance? Look at this very interesting story. An investment, and this is using a compound interest calculator, an investment of $100 topped up by $30 monthly for the next 25 years at 20% per annum, while the $33, $30, you do it consistently for this year, every month. Next month, you increase it by 10% to $3. The next year after that, you increase it at 6.3 by 10%. And you continue this for 25 years. In 25 years, you will have $341,000. Okay. If you multiply that into Naira, what that gives you in Naira is roughly about 220. That gives you, if I multiply by 700, it's about 200 million Naira. Okay. 200 million Naira is what you have if you take $100 and put aside now, which is about 75,000 Naira, and you add 20,000 Naira to it per month, you have 200 million Naira in 25 years. The power of compound interest. Analyze, I say, if you plant 2 grains of maize in a farmland, and even though it takes 4 months for the maize to yield, you wait for 1 full year to plant it again. And it gives you just 2 cobs, and 1 cob is completely bad. And every year you are planting again. Guess what? In 5 years, you will have 5 billion seeds. Okay, in 5 years, you have 5 billion fields. You have enough to plant hectares on ending. Your business will have grown significantly. Why? Because you stayed with that one thing and you kept on compounding with time. Let me give you another example in business. A woman making and selling snacks with a capital of $30, which is about 20K in Naira, and making a profit of 10% daily. So that 20K, she makes 22K daily, and she takes it to 2K and adds it, and adds it, and adds it. And even though in a month of working 20 days, she's supposed to increase her profit by 200%, we even use and discount it to half. To say in the whole of the month, she's able only to work 10 days. She does 10% every day for 10 days, and she's able to take her $30 and turn it to $60. And then she tells herself that, look, she has to eat something. So she work hard for 3 months, and every 3 months, she will withdraw $90 from the amount that she has earned, and she draws it after a year. After a year, guess what? She would have grown her capital to $70,000. It makes no sense. But somebody who is selling snacks, and the snacks of 20,000 Naira, who continues to compound and compound and compound and does 100% per month and is building on that and building on that and removing $90 every quarter to take care of herself, will have grown her resources to $70,000. If you are not surprised or shocked or excited, you know, I am. And this is what compound interest is able to create. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here and you are getting to see the sense behind the value of compound interest, give me wow. Okay, I can see when we shows wow there. Put a wow in that comment. So somebody who is not listening and looking can look at this and say wow, because this is really wow. Okay. And that's only by being consistent. Okay, consistency. You build something, you take it, you build, you build, you build, you build, you build. The potentials are phenomenal. Now, guess what? Advertiser says something. Say compound interest. If you're not earning it, you're probably paying it. Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Okay, if you understand it, you will earn it. If you don't understand it, you will pay it. And I want to ask you today, on which side are you? Are you earning it or are you paying it? Are you earning it or are you paying it? If you're here and you are building your Grey Mondays business as something you start and stop, you start and stop, you start and stop, I assure you, you are not building. Okay, it means you are paying it. But if you are building and you know what, I'm building, I'm pushing as many people in my team as I can. I'm supporting my team members to grow. I'm working on growing my team. I'm working on growing my team exponentially. Then you are compounding. Guess what? Do not quit. Do not faint. In a matter of time, you will earn phenomenal rewards if you do not faint. Okay, if you do not stop. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the exciting power of compound interest. This is what is possible and exciting in this space. And if you are here today, I want to say to you, this is where you need to be. This is what you need to be doing. And guess what? If you are here today and you are not yet involved with Grey Mondays, I want to say to you, you want to reach out to the person who invited you for this meeting and ask them, what is this Grey Mondays business about? How are you compounding? How are you growing it? How can I be involved? Because it doesn't matter what you have today. You can take what you have today and deliberately build. There are 2 things you can build here. You can build your team and you can build your sales volume. And as you build and build and build, guess what? You are able to achieve phenomenal growth in time. I'll tell you something that happened to me as I close this meeting. You know, I did an analysis, you know, of what this business can be in 5 years' time. And I tried to look at the projections, and never have I really paid attention to the projections, even from the business side. And I realized that in 5 years, if we do this correctly, and I'm not talking about individual distributors now, if we do this correctly in 5 years, this business can be generating profits in millions of dollars. Okay. Now, if you look at it, so for me, that gave me a lot more confidence to realize what is possible for distributors, what is possible for people who are operating with the power of 4 to build this business. And I'll show you that table very briefly. And this table is really, really, really just about compound interest. And what this table tells you is that as a distributor, there are no limits. If you go all the way, recruit as many people as possible in your team, we call it power of focus. Get 10 people on your team, support them to do the same thing, teach them to do the same thing, build, build, build. In a matter of time, you will be amazed at the kind of income you will command. There's capacity in this business for you to earn billions on a monthly basis if you build with the power of focus, if you compound. So, ladies and gentlemen, my message to you very swiftly today is, what are you building? What are you building? And are you consistent with what you're building? Okay, the Grey Mondays offers you a phenomenal product that has a market reach. You know, the market that can be reached is in millions of people. And by building gradually, you don't take the market in a day, you build your team, you build your distribution network, you build your team, and guess what? In a matter of a few years, in a matter of a few months, if you can pay the price, 20, 30 months of consistency and making sure you're growing from month to month, guess what will happen? You will have created great fortune. You can help those charities, you can support on helping lives, you can do a lot of things. It can be very exciting. If you are here today, the whole purpose of today's meeting is to give you a little ginger, okay, to reconnect your perspectives, see what is possible, and tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to take this more seriously. I need to begin to do this as a builder. I am not a hunter. I am a builder. The hunter carries the gun, sees the deer, shoots the deer. That's the end. A farmer, okay, goes to the forest, catches the deer, catches the female, locks them in the cage, and they produce children. Okay, you want to build. You want to be a builder. You want to be a farmer. You want to be somebody who grows what you do and expands it. And yes, you can. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here today and like me, you're gingered to make sure that month on month, growth is happening month on month, 10% increase, 10% increase, 100% in a month. I'm growing what I'm doing. Guess what? In a matter of 30 months, you can grow this into something phenomenal. Okay. If you use every opportunity, and no, I'm in a building season. You know, I tell people, if we know we're going to be alive in 5 years' time, we're trusting God to be alive in 5 years' time, we're trusting God to be alive in 10 years' time, why don't we build like we want to be alive to reap a harvest in 5 years' time? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the little contribution on Super Sundays today. I hope that you have had some value. I know that I did a lot of speed in this. I wanted to be short and sweet so that people who watch this after as well can quickly run through it and get to understand it. Thank you very much for listening. See you at the topmost top.